What is going on, everybody? My name is Japes, and welcome to another episode in my Path to Power. As you can see on the screen, I decided to cash in on everyone from this Bundesliga side. I needed a change, and with the BPL tournament that's coming out, or has come out, I wanted to be able to play in this. So in order to do that, I needed to use a BPL squad. Now, I wanted to get rid of the David Luiz, and actually I decided to sell on Eden Hazard as well. I decided to sell him on to open 2 packs, which you're going to see later in this episode. And I know some of you guys said, Japes, or you're going to say, Japes, you said you wouldn't sell him on. And I thought, yeah, that's true. But frankly, I didn't really want to play with Hazard anymore, so he could have just sat on my bench, or I could sell him on and open a few packs, and who knows, maybe get a team of the season. That would be quite fun to play with. So we're going to see how that does indeed play out. But what you can see I'm doing right now is I put max price somewhere around 800 coins. And the reason I did this is because I wanted to build a cheap team to begin with for the BPL, and then improve it gradually, and hopefully go on to win this tournament, because there are a lot of really strong players in the BPL that you don't have to pay over the top for. Now, with this tournament being out, with BPL team of the season being out right now, the general price of a lot of the pacier players has gone up, especially the informs that have come out through the season in the BPL. One of the examples, the first inform, Luis Suarez, I think was selling for somewhere just shy of 100k pre this tournament. He's now up to somewhere about 200,000 coins last I checked, which is absolutely crazy, and it just shows a little bit of the supply demand that kind of goes along with this, because there are going to be a lot fewer Luis Suarez's out from this first inform, but there's still definitely people that want him in their side. So I went and I picked up a lot of players that I maybe haven't given a shout to, because one of the things that I think is kind of cool is, especially with the league like the BPL, is giving all, or not all players, but a fair amount of the players a good shout in their position to see how good they in fact are, because there are a lot of hidden gems, I suppose, or not hidden gems, but a lot of players that get overlooked because there are these quote-unquote elite players at their position. Now, when I say elite players, in fact, they are the elite players in real life, but on FIFA, they might not always be your best player at the position. You know, Adel Taarabt is kind of one of those examples on FIFA where he's extremely good. Obviously, he's known for his 5-star skills, but would you want Adel Taarabt to be your attacking mid in real life of all the BPL attacking mids? Chances are you're going to say no. There are just better options out there. So I went ahead and actually I thought about making a Bayern side and trying to build the whole Bayern side pre the Champions League final on the 25th, but I scrapped that idea because I wanted to play in this tournament. And there's a lot of trading and stuff going on. One of the things that I wanted to talk about in this episode, though, is it was kind of a hot topic on Twitter since I've started doing the breakdown series. And if you haven't checked that out, I'll leave a link in the description down below. It's a series I did where, you know, there are a lot of people that complain about the FIFA nonsense that goes on and say, you know what, this game's broken. There's too many things that happen that shouldn't happen, and a lot of blame gets shouted at. And I kind of took the opposite thing, and I said, you know what, I've generally, for the most part, I'm able to keep a pretty darn good record up in all FIFAs, and I think that people really need to look at their individual mechanics, and mechanics is kind of a buzzword, I think, that will start to hear more about related to FIFA in the near future. And what I mean is, mechanics is kind of one of those things. It's how well you're able to manipulate the game, or how well you're able to control the game with your fingers on the controller. It's kind of the way I look at it. And there are a lot of people that are good at this, but there are a few people that are elite at this. And when you're looking at mechanics, it's also saying, hey, you know what? I know that if I call the goalkeeper outside of his box, chances are he could do something real funny. Or, you know, that's not necessarily an example like that, but I know if I put my team or my player in this position, the game has a higher likelihood to act a little bit funnier. That's not a good thing to do. And it's also with playing for, you know, rebounds and stuff like that. People are like, oh man, rebound right back to my player. Well, hey, you know, mechanically, if you know that there's a chance that the rebound is going to go back to your player, then why not have a shot? Is kind of the way I look at it. And that's not cheating. That's not playing, you know, some people are going to say, well, Japes, that's super sweaty of you. It's using the tools at hand to play the game the way that you want to play it. And there's no right or wrong way to play the game. Playing sweaty is purely down to someone's opinion, and a lot of people call sweaty players or good players, sweaty players is essentially what it is. And it's, if they get beat, like, oh man, that guy was so sweaty. And it's kind of like, well, you know, you were trying to score just as hard as he was. He just had a better tactic about going about it. And so I'm not trying to hate on anybody's FIFA skills in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying that there's, you know, if you are indeed trying to improve at this game, which I think is kind of the direction that FIFA is going, because, you know, you can only do these, I guess I'd call them kind of silly squad builders for so long, where, you know, you make a team of all left-footed players or all right-footed players, and it's like, hey, that's fun. You know, you want to play a game or two with that, but is that team really going to be that much fun to play with? I don't know. Maybe in the long run, sure, or maybe for some people, sure, yeah, that's the way they want to play FIFA. But I think a lot of you guys, especially those of you on my channel, want to be using quality teams in, you know, and having a good quality style of play. And a quality style of play is all relative. That's what I'm going to decide versus what you're going to decide is totally different. So anyways, back to this squad that I've built now, this BPL squad. I'm going through and I was hunting for cheap center backs. I didn't want to pay more than 600 or 700 coins for a player. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to get your Kabuls, your David Luiz, your Umbia maybe, but most of the players that I picked up for this squad, they're really not that pacey, and you know, I was okay with that. Like Seb Larsson was a player that I wanted to try. You know, only 71 pace. He plays right mid. Could be a problem in a 3-5-2. Who knows? I pick up Papi Cisse right here, and he's an overlooked player in my opinion. He's got 3 stats that are 80 or above. I think 3 stats with 80 or above. We'll see it in a minute. But this is kind of the team that I came up with. We went with Lama. We went with Cisse and Big Andy up front. Big Andy Carroll. We've got Kagawa, Javi Garcia, Sandro, Seb Larsson, our back 3. I can't remember all of them. I know we've got Johnny Evans, Phil Jones, and Gary Cahill is who it is. So it's not an overpowered team in any way, shape, or form. But you know what? They're really not bad to play with. They're quite fun. And I'm going to be able to add, the next player that I add to this team is undoubtedly going to be an inform. So what I'm going to do is I'll throw up a Facebook poll after this. And if you know, let me know which inform you would most like to see on my team. Now, I only have about 40 or 50,000 coins right now. And this is Big Andy Carroll. Check this out. And this is bodying. If I'm betting that he's going to try to play cheeky and turn inside. And this is one of those things. In that sort of situation right there, if he doesn't go inside and he turns outside like you're meant to do as a center back, if he turns outside, no big deal. The guy gets a passing move and starts forward. If I guess inside and he does go inside, I get a goal scoring opportunity and I manage to put it away right there. David De Gea absolutely wrecks his striker right there. And some of you guys are going to say, hey, Japes, that's FIFA BS. That animation is not what it should be. I'm going to disagree with you right there. I've seen that happen in real life before. And I think that's one of the things that people fail to consider. If you take a look at, if you were to play 1,000 Ultimate Team games, which is a lot of games, or even 500, say 500 FIFA games, how many games does the average BPL team play in a season? I don't have the exact number on that, and I should have done that before getting this commentary. But if you were to magnify how many games are, say, played in the EPL in total in a season, and compare that to your Ultimate Team, think about how many random things or quote-unquote lucky things or crazy things happen throughout a season. And then if you relate that to how many Ultimate Team games you play, chances are you're going to see a lot of that stuff happen. So Andy Carroll nodding home another header right there to, I think that's his second goal of this game after he just bullied Thomas Vermaelen on that first goal. So 4-1 the final score. He got a penalty with Lucas Podolski, which I don't know if I showed. I think, oh yeah, I dove the right way and I still didn't get it. Thought that was a bit unlucky. But we're moving on into the next round of the tournament. And if you win this tournament, you get 7,000 coins and a badge. Now, I haven't seen exactly what the badge is yet, and I haven't gone looking for it either, but I think a cool thing that EA could consider in the future is doing essentially custom badge or tournament badges, where you could, if you win a certain tournament, you get a custom badge for that, and that badge you would never be able to sell on, because I think it would be really hard to do on the market, but you can use it as your badge for your club, kind of as a, hey, I managed to win this tournament, and people, kind of let people know that, hey, I'm a decent player, however you want to look at it. We've got Olivier Giroud in this time up front. I haven't used him before. We're coming up against a very strong 3-5-2 BPL side. And I knew I was going to have to be on my A game and kind of control it. Seb Larsson is a very, very good player. He's quick enough. His top speed is not very high, but he crosses it into Papis Cisse. And some of you guys are going to say, Japes, Papis Cisse probably shouldn't be out jumping Mbia or whoever at the back post right there. Let me tell you this. Mechanically, if you cancel, this guy was just holding, I would assume, left trigger, or he's just hitting B and hoping for the best. Now, the interesting thing about that is I am not just hitting B and hoping for the best. I'm hitting left trigger, right trigger, and trying to run around in front of him to reposition. Now, as soon as I get goal side of his defender, then I release the right trigger, and I use left trigger to body into him and try to jockey for the proper position. And that's what kind of mechanics are all about. Mechanically, I was better in that situation than he was, and I was able to score. Now, of course, there's a little bit of luck like that deflection right there. That goes into real football as well. If you're going to say you've never seen a deflection goal get scored in real life, then you are crazy. This guy was actually a subscriber, so I wanted to say GG to him as well. And also, if you guys are playing me, message me after the game when it's just easier. I don't look at messages very often because I play without notifications on, so that it's easier, or so that they don't blur the screen while I'm playing. This time decided to put Boujajor, and we've got Holtby in as well. And I'm going to talk Shinji Kagawa on FIFA. Is terrible. That's my opinion, obviously, but he is not the type of player. He's got all the stats for a type of player that I would love to play with, but for whatever reason, he just doesn't perform for the way I like my attacking mids to play. Lewis Holtby, on the other hand, is exceptionally good. And I've got Maige in up front, who is a very, very overlooked striker in the BPL, and for 300 coins or whatever I paid for him, he is a very, very strong pick. Going in now to the semifinals, this guy, 4-3-2-1 pace up front with Hazard and Walcott, which means I'd have to be on my game, but he throws it out with a keeper, a very common error that I see people make. Don't do that. Take a look at the mini map or the radar at the bottom of the screen and then pick your pass to where you want to throw it out. He got so worried though after I did the roulette inside with Papis Cisse that I was going to shoot it for the far post, but indeed, one little cutback, one more, and it is a free and easy thing. You can see right there. He is so worried about that far post shot and on Papis Cisse's right foot that, lo and behold, nice little block there from Johnny Evans, but unlucky, and that's an easy, cool finish for an Hazard. He's going to score that 10 times out of 10, and that's my bad for playing poor defense right there. I let myself get in a situation where it was his 3 attackers against my 3 defenders, and you guys are going to say, well, Japes, you sort of blocked the pass there, and I don't know, maybe that was a bit unlucky. I could have done better in that situation and not let myself get stuck in a 3v3 where his players could get in behind me like that. So Lewis Holtby, wonderful little bit of work, gets some free space with his left foot and crunches it into the back of the net. Seb Larson, how about that for a finish? He's got a fantastic right foot, and I think that's something that's overlooked. I didn't really have a stellar free kick taker on this team. I had some good ones. Holtby's not a bad free kick taker in any way, shape, or form. Obviously, actually, I don't have Mikel Arteta on this team. That's on my main account. But nice little pass into Maige. And Maige, who's default left-footed, has a wonderful little finesse shot finish with his right foot in the 45th minute, giving us a convincing lead. And when I tend to get leads, I don't really force him too much in the second half. Wonderful work from Papis Cisse, though. He's going to get in a little bit of free space, and he's very, very much fun to play with. But goes for a little chip over the top, and it's going to be a foul, top of the box. I tweeted out yesterday, Seb Larson, his free kicks are unbelievable. Not even going to think twice on this. You're going to see, and actually I think I've finally started to get fully comfortable with free kicks on FIFA 13, which is absolutely crazy. But you can see right there, very good free kick stats. Curve it outside a little bit, just over 2 bars power, and arcs it into the back of the net. That is the way we're going to conclude this episode of Path to Power. That is the final goal. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section down below about these longer episodes. I thought it was quite fun, and maybe, you know, doing a longer episode every other day or something like that is a good way to do it. But if you want to see Path to Power daily, let me know in the comments, and I will get to work trying to do that as well. If it is daily, though, the episodes will probably be a bit shorter. Anyways, want to thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy, like or thumbs up is always greatly appreciated. Other than that, I might be uploading again today, but check my Twitter for further news on that. My name is Japes, and I will catch you all next time.